flex as a wide receiver. Like,
good evening, everybody. Welcome into Coach's Corner East. I'm your host, Mike Sparks. We're here at the Pizza Hut in Galion as we preview both Galion and Colonel Crawford getting ready to go into Week 11 postseason play for the playoffs and the OHSAA high school football playoffs coming up this week. Our show is brought to you in part by Steve and Chuck Keller, Keller Auto Parts, your Napa dealer, Uptown Galion and Crestline, as well as Dr. Thomas M. Britton, Clubview Vision Center next to the golf course in Bucyrus. Joe Climate, Associate at the Galion office of First Federal Bank of Ohio. As I mentioned, it'll be Jake Bruner and the Colonel Crawford Eagles as they get ready to take on Margaretta in the Division 6 first round of the playoffs coming up on Friday. And we start our show with Matt Dick and the Galion Tigers, who will be traveling to a familiar foe, old NOL foe, in Bellevue. That'll be coming up Friday. But prior to that, congratulations on another big win. You know, we talked last week when we were here that you had made the comment, I believe, and I'm not quoting you directly, but if I remember, you said, River Valley's going to score points. Well, they did, and so did you, and it was a real slugfest. You win 56-49. You finish up the regular season 6-4 overall, 5-2 in the MOAC, and you really set the tone in the first drive by getting a score. River Valley comes right back and answers on their first drive, and the heavyweight bout was on as the two teams combined for nearly 1,100 yards. And I know you talked about a little bit. Did you expect that much?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, hats off to River Valley's defense. They stopped us a couple times early, and they're scoring. So, you started, I think it was like 7-21, and then we slowly started to get it rolling, and it wasn't really any adjustments. It was just block sound, gap football. But right before half, we had they'd scored a touchdown, and we had our hurry-up I offense on, which I've never done before. But I figured, we try it out. And we did a good job of hitting a post to Chafin, had a couple just one-word plays where Gabe had a couple nice run powers. And then we called a play where everybody goes deep, and Braxton pulled it down, broke about, 3 or 4 tackles and on his way to like a 60-yard run. So we're doing a hurry-up I offense with about 1:30. Braxton makes a really special play, score right before half. We feel good. I think we're down maybe up 1 at the time.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And then they come out. Logan Shifley catches the ball off of the kid's helmet, returns it back a little bit, and then we do a trick play. They're yelling the trick play when it comes because it's a play we've done many a times. And Braxton threw a great ball, and Landon Prosser, his little cousin, who's a freshman that barely knows his first name most days, he made a incredible catch on the sidelines. The throw was incredible, and just like that, in about 1:30, the game flipped, and it was over for River Valley. And it was a pretty amazing turn of events, and our defense really made some huge plays that first half. Even though they gave up a lot of yards, that quarterback made a ton of plays. Hats off to the Shadone kid, but really, it was a special night for us.
Yeah, and with that hurry-up offense, is that one where you run the play and you're on the ball looking at the sideline, run the next one? And is it based on, are you changing that play based on what you might see real quick or what you're hearing from above from your guys that are looking down? Or is it set plays that we're going to run this one, then this one, then this one?
So we do have a whole hurry-up offense, and we can run about almost every one of our spread plays from the line of scrimmage really fast. We practice it. We've mixed up some personnel lately, but we're pretty good at it. But versus River Valley, we were so powerful in the I formation. We've not really practiced that because that doesn't really make any sense. But somehow we did it, and it worked, and it was pretty fun. And, when you got special kids like Gabe and Braxton, you got a huge O-line that's blocking well. Anything's possible. And, by the time we scored, I was like, maybe we scored a little too fast because it was about 22 seconds, something like that. And I'm like, Shadone might go down and score again. Yeah. And they were trying. He might have. But Logan made a big play, and then we got to capitalize one more time. It was huge.
As you mentioned, both teams went back and forth. You lead 42-34 at halftime. Braxton Prosser was here tonight, 6 of 7 passing, 60 yards, 2 TDs, rushed 9 times for 83 yards and a TD. Gabe Ivey, who we're going to talk to in just a moment, had for some people, a career evening, 34 carries, 330 yards, and 3 TDs. Carson Frankhouse, Logan Shifley, each rushed for a TD, and Landon Prosser, as you mentioned, Landon Campbell caught touchdown passes. Tigers, 60 yards passing, 484 yards rushing for 544. And as you mentioned, Caden Shadone, the quarterback at River Valley, 22 of 40 passing. Did you figure he'd put up that many?
He's pretty special.
I imagine his arm was hurting on Saturday. 402 yards. He had 3 TDs and 2 interceptions. He rushed 17 times for 86 yards and 3 TDs. Grant Butler, top receiver, 9 receptions, 231 yards, 2 TDs, and they had 402 yards passing, 151 yard rushing for 553. So just a little more than yours, but that's a win over a rival. I know Ontario, Shelby, they're probably your top rivals, but I've heard in the past years, we really want to beat River Valley, and it was just a slugfest. And as a coaching staff, I'm going to ask the kids the same question, but as a coaching staff, do you like those, or do you like the nip and tuck, 14, 13, grind it out? I mean, which one do you prefer, or was it just kind of fun on this night?
It was a fun night. I mean, I try to enjoy every game. I think we talk about our kids going 1-0 is so important. Today, we had a little message in the locker room about not worrying about the future, just really focus on the moment. And in life, if you don't focus on the moment, you won't put in the work to have that bright future. We talked about, some of our kids got awarded first team all conference, and just like, this kid put in the work and just trying to make them make that connection, that living in the moment. So that last Friday was a really fun moment. There were a lot of fun times. I mean, plays where kids were just hugging each other and laughing and having a good time, and just it was special. And especially those couple moments right before half where we had that big defensive interception. It was a fun night. And would I rather play great defense and win, on 2-point conversion at the end and win 6-7? Probably. But on the same note, it's just fun to enjoy these moments with this team.
Yeah, very good. Let's take a break. We'll talk to the young men around the table here. Coming up, brought to you in part by the Burkhardt family at the Burkhardt Farm Center, your Case IH dealer, straight west of Gallion on the Manette New Winchester Road. Mike Kleinheit at Ag Credit Residential Lending, Osiris, Mount Gilead, and Marion. Sweet Baby Ray Jones and Kendra Weaver at Ohio Door and Sash, 120 South Street in Gallion. And Mark Osborne at Ukraine International, Route 598 at the north edge of Gallion. First up, it's Gabe Ivey, and first and foremost, congratulations. Was that your highest rushing that you've ever had in a game?
Yes, sir.
Wow, that's crazy. And to me, after going through 9 weeks of getting punished because you're touching the ball quite a bit, to come out and be able to do that in week 10 is pretty doggone special. And I will tell you, we had a special edition show last night over at Ralphie's just across from the school, and one of our media people had made a comment, said, this Ivy kid's not big. When you look at him, you think, wow, how does that guy do it? But I'm telling you, this is what this guy said. He runs like he's about 60 to 70 pounds heavier, and he dishes out abuse. And so that's a really, really high compliment to you. Talk about just where that inspiration came to do what you did with 34 carries and 330 yards.
No, you never beat River Valley on the field, and I think that's one of my main goals I've always had in life. And maybe not my whole life, but watching my brothers play.
Yeah, sure.
I've always wanted to beat them there, and watching the teams after they graduated play.
Yeah,
make fun of me, right? And I feel like we just had to finish the regular season out for Coop, and I feel like the whole team did that together, and we ended it pretty well.
You had some nip and tuck games during the year, and I want to ask you this question. Was that more fun for you with your teammates and just kind of going up and down the field? Okay, we're going to throw a punch, now they throw a punch, then back and forth, with more Madden-like. Did you enjoy that?
I actually did. It was really fun. It was tiring because we were running, they were throwing, but it was so fun.
I have to ask, was there, I don't want to say trash talk, but was there talking between the two teams out there like, no, it's our turn, or it's your turn, or man, you got a set time? Was there much of that, or?
No, it was a very clean game. I respect all those guys, such great dudes, and it was very clean, smash mouth football.
Very good. Well, good luck in the playoffs. You're going to be going up to Bellevue, a formidable opponent. You're the 9 seed, they're the 8 seed. Pretty similar records, and exact same records, 6-4 on both sides. So should be a great, fun experience. Hopefully you got some legs left. Rest them up and see if you can duplicate that performance, get a win. Okay? You bet. Next up, Co-Infusion is here, and it's good to see you. Thanks for coming out, and had to be just a delight, wasn't it? And again, to win on their field, you knew their quarterback was going to do special things. Coach knew it. You weren't going to stop him, maybe slow him down. But what gave you the most gratitude about that Friday night?
I mean, just going out and winning. There's nothing better than winning. So, I mean, just doing your job and winning is probably the best thing.
What was the locker room like after the game? When you get back in there, you had your team meeting on the field, and you're talking about, okay, the regular season's over, we're moving on. Was there an explosion in the locker room? Did you have a lot of fun, or what was that like?
I mean, it's always fun when you win. So I mean, everybody in the locker room's happy. I mean, coach is happy that we won. I mean, nobody's really complaining. So.
Yeah, I hope not. I hope not, especially with those kind of points. So now you get ready this week. A former foe from the NOL in Bellevue, and that's obviously a long time ago, but it's still there. People that live around Galion that grew up in this community know that very, very well. What are some things that you really focused on? Week 11, you think, well, we've buttoned up everything. What have you really buttoned up this week in preparation?
Focus and effort, It's week 11, everybody's tired, but you still got to give your all and just be locked in at all times and know what you're doing.
Love that answer. Everybody's tired. They're tired, you're tired, bodies are beat up. Now you just got to find that whatever's deep inside and take it to the next level. Enjoy the trip up there. It's not a real long trip. It'll be a great atmosphere. It's a beautiful facility up there. Have a lot of fun and hopefully get a win and move on to the playoffs.
Thank you.
You bet. Logan Shifley is next. And so tell me about that interception. Did you see it bounce off his head, or was that, it had to be great hand-eye coordination.
Well, if you actually watch it, the guy beat me.
At least you're honest. At least you're honest.
Me and that guy were going back and forth all night. He had a couple plays where he'd go up and catch it. One was right on the head. All the receivers are really good, but it was just one play. It was really lucky. It bounced off his helmet. I didn't even see it. It just landed on my hand.
Oh, you didn't?
I didn't see it.
It was just right place, right time.
Yeah.
So when he beat you, did you have this thought in your mind, and don't say it, but oh crap, I'm in trouble? Or didn't really even think about it in the moment?
Well, no, because I felt like I was in a place to get my hand on the ball. So.
Good. So what have you seen from Bellevue on both sides of the ball that concerns you the most coming up?
The way they line up for 2-point conversions mostly. I don't know. They're coming up with something different like every week. So it's like the things you have to worry about where they're lining up different things we haven't prepared for.
Yeah.
That we'd have to make adjustments at halftime, but when you're on the field and you don't know what to do or how to line up, it's frustrating.
Yeah, got to be prepared for everything. Well, enjoy the experience. It'll be fun. Hopefully you guys can carry it on and continue this tough season, but a special season that you're dedicating. So enjoy the moment, okay? Next up, Braxton Prosser, the quarterback, is back. And how special was it to throw a touchdown pass to your cousin?
Proudest moment of my life.
What did you tell him after that?
I was just, me and him and Cohen did our handshake, and we just went to the sidelines, and he couldn't stop talking about it. It was awesome.
And I'm sure it made him feel real good,
Yeah.
and pretty special too.
Yeah.
Coach talked about this hurry-up offense. What did you see in that play where everybody went deep and you just said, I'm gone, I'm Lamar Jackson, and I'm gone?
For one, we've been practicing stepping up in the pocket, and I saw the hole open up, and we stepped up and ran.
You're in a big stage. It's now the playoffs as a sophomore. It's a big facility. They're going to pack the place. I know they support their football program really, really well. Hopefully a lot of Galion fans go up there. Are you mentally prepared for that? That like, okay, maybe a couple snaps and I'm going to relax, or have you even thought about it yet?
Usually takes first play, I'm usually good. We've played a lot of teams with packed stadiums. Clear Fork had a really packed stadium.
Yeah.
I don't really pay attention to the fans.
Yeah.
I just play my game.
Yeah, I understand that as an official. It gets really quiet, even though there's a ton of people there. You don't pay a whole lot of attention to it. Well, enjoy the experience. It should be a lot of fun, and good luck to you. And maybe you can hook up with your cousin there in the playoffs. That'd be really special.
Thank you.
You bet. And Alex Griffith is with us, and you were right on time tonight, so I appreciate that. You're always on time. A lot of fun, and a lot of credit has to go to your line, both the offensive line and defensive line. And do you think at this point that you're really in a good position right now heading into the playoffs? You feel comfortable? You're clicking on all cylinders, ready to go?
Oh, yeah, I think we're doing good. We're getting our gap schemes down. We're getting our double teams to the backers. Just our whole line's gelling together.
Do you like that hurry up rather than getting in a huddle, hearing the play, running up and running the play? Or do you like getting right on the ball, running it again?
I like getting right on the ball, running it again, just smashing down their throats.
Yeah, and they don't have a lot of time to breathe. They don't have a lot of time to relax. They don't have a lot of time to adjust. So that's good. And as long as you guys can get on the ball. And now mentally, let's face it, false starts, encroachments, things like that, those become major. They can be drive killers. Mentally, you guys have to be in the game and know what's going on with everything around you. You feel like you're in a good spot mentally to head into the playoffs.
Yeah, we need to play aggressive football, but also controlled at the same time.
Thank you for saying that. Aggressive football, but smart football.
Yeah.
Don't want a lot of penalties because that's, like you say, that's when drive killers. Yeah, absolutely.
One holding call, one illegal man downfield, there goes the drive.
Yeah, absolutely.
In playoff situations like that can be the game.
That can be. Man, you should be a commentator. That's outstanding. Good job. I appreciate it. Good luck. Have a fun time, okay? We're going to take another break here, come back and talk to Coach Dick here. Show's brought to you in part by Lee Plymouth and Brad Seibert at the Plymouth Insurance Group, Gallion and Bucyrus, North Central State College, Mansfield, and the Crawford Success Center, North Walnut Street, across from the courthouse in Bucyrus. Phil and Sue Schreck at Phil's Deli, just east of the Pizza Hut at the bridge here in Gallion. John Rolls at John's Auto Repair Specialist, 800 Scott Street in Crestline. We mentioned numerous times now you're going to Bellevue. They are the 8th seed. You ended up at the 9th seed. Ed Nasani, who seems like he's been there forever and a day, very intense coach, very successful coach. Should be a really great atmosphere up in Bellevue. Currently, they're 6-4 overall, just like you. 2-3 in the Sandusky Bay Lake Division. This past week, they lose to Clyde 13-12. They average just about 25 points a game, give up 15.6. And I'm an analytical guy, and so I looked at 8 of the 10 teams that you played this year are going to the playoffs. For Bellevue, 7 of their 10 are going to the playoffs. So, it's kind of strength of schedule. I realize there's 16 teams in, but you look at a Macomb, you look at a Cary, Clear Fork, Ontario, Highland, Shelby, that River Valley, that's impressive. And they're going to, the likes of Clyde, Perkins, all of those teams, Canfield, which they lost to in week 2, 1 or 2. There's some good football that each team played. So what do you expect?
Yeah, we went up to Bellevue, and we did not have a good playoff game about 2 years ago. And I think some of our guys, like Holden Hunter, was playing, I think, center, left guard. What was he playing? Right guard, something like that. As a freshman. Gabe Ivey was out there as a freshman. We had a lot of guys that were out there playing in that game that are playing now. And then you double down with, Braxton Prosser just went to Clyde, and he started his first playoff game as a freshman last year. And Clyde's in their conference. We're seeing Clyde on film. And, you watch Clyde and Bellevue match up. We know what Clyde was like last year, and you see those guys slug it out. You know what type of game it's going to be. And I guess the thing that I take away from film is it's not like I look out there and go, wow, they got all these great football players that are exceptionally talented. They're just physical, very physical, tough, hard-nosed football players. And every tackle, there's 2 or 3 guys hitting the running back, whoever's running the ball, or the receiver. There's 2 or 3 guys flying the football, hitting it. And that type of physical football, I think, wears teams down. And then that causes things that lose playoff games, such as turnovers, fumbles, interceptions, those things. But if we can be sound with the ball offensively, good things are going to happen. We got to hand the ball to the official after every play, and I think it'll make a huge difference. Defensively, stopping their quarterback, number 18, I think got banged up in the Clyde game. We'll see if he plays this week. But he's a special kid on defense. He's played like Sam versus Edison. He played Mike versus, I think, Clyde. He played safety versus Perkins. Wow. They move him all around, and he runs the ball 30 times. So he's very similar to a Gabe Ivey type kid where you're playing substantial football on both sides and making a huge impact. We asked Gabe to guard their best receiver most weeks. They're asking number 18 to tackle the best running back and to go be the best running back. So it's impressive. The kid's a tough kid. But they got some other weapons as well. Number 10, number 14, they make big time plays at safety and receiver. They're a solid football team. But if we're going to win on being gap sound. That's not going to change. There's not going to be some secret. I think we talked to Braxton. He goes, Coach, you're yelling that trick play. He executed a little different wrinkle to throw to his cousin. And, of course, the other one was just maybe a hair more open. But, hey, if you throw a perfect ball, we'll clap up and say great job. But we talked to Braxton about, I don't care. I don't care if they know we're running right here. What I care about is when they overshift to that, when they bring extra guys, we got to do something different. And I'll take care of that as a coach. He just needs to execute the play to the best of our ability. And I mean, if you watch our film or you watch our tendencies, it's real clear what we're trying to do. We're running a gap scheme to the left. It's not a secret. And we have lots of things that we can do off that if we need to. But the truth is, when you run that type of scheme 15 to 20 times a game, you got to be successful in those 15 to 20 plays. You're not going to win the game. And if that's 3 yards at a pop, that's fine. We'll add some of those wrinkles in, and those will be our big explosive plays. But if we're going, 0 or -1, then Bellevue's going to win the game. If we're going 6, 10, 20, then we're going to win by a lot. So that's huge on offense. And then just defense, stop their run. I mean, it's got to start there. Obviously, their play action pass game is also pretty deadly, but stop the run.
Very good. Well, congratulations on a really good year. Like I said, a tough year. You come up better than 500, which is great. Only lost 2 games in the league. And if you happen to win against Bellevue, you would get the winner of number 1 seed Glenville or number 16 Napoleon. Long drive for Napoleon coming up on Friday night. If Napoleon would knock them off and you win, you'd get them a home. So that'd be neat. Otherwise, you're going to Cleveland Glenville if you happen to knock off Bellevue and Glenville wins. But I want to thank you and all of the team, your coaches that came. Thanks for everything this year. This will be our last visit, and it was a pleasure getting to speak with all of you. And I give you all of you, the whole team, even those that I didn't meet, a ton of credit for what you went through as young people that nobody should ever have to go through. And you always did it with class. You kept your head held high. You did it with dedication, and I give you a ton of credit. And hopefully that'll carry you through not only this week, but in all the endeavors that you do when you face adversity next time. So wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
You bet. Take a break. Come back, talk to Jake Bruder, Colonel Crawford, getting ready to go into the playoffs right after this timeout.